coming up to the old Mayfield Dam. Pretty cool. It's not a dam anymore, but there used to be a mill dam. I'll show you. There's a little rock here that's got some inscription on it. It says on here, Mill Dam, former Mayfield Old Roller Mill, the dam site, owned by Carl Freehalt, 1940. This is where it used to be. Kind of cool. A little bit loud. But the interesting thing is over this bridge, as we walk over this bridge here, there is a grave site of a gentleman who passed away. Apparently he died here. He hung himself on this tree, what's left of this tree, and he died in 1977. And if you read closely, his favorite song apparently was Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin, and at the bottom it says, "Your stairway lies on the whispering wind." He apparently loved that verse of the song, so that is all encrypted on his gravestone. So this is in memory of Bob Blowiak, who passed away in 1977. Like I said, he was a big Led Zeppelin fan. Rumor is that he hung himself at this tree, what's left of it here. And yeah, so that's a pretty interesting story about that. Now we'll walk back down to what was left of the dam area here. Kind of pretty cool. Cool little area. It's an interesting thing that I don't think a whole lot of people know about. And this is the other side of the rock I was talking about earlier. Features a little donation ceremony, and etched into it is what the dam used to look like. And on it goes. Oh, this little nugget here. It's like 2 rows of cemeteries. It's a very small cemetery. It's just 2 actual lines of graves. It's posted not to trespass, so this is as close as I'm going. See another grave there, but I think that's all it is. It's just 2 rows of graves. Huh. Very interesting. Found this little beauty on the outskirts of Richfield. It's a old gas station from times gone by. Remnants. Look at that. That is an old pump. Very cool. Not for sale anymore. We got a little Santa Claus there in the window. Probably from, I was thinking maybe Christmas of one year was the last time they were open. Guessing. Very neat. I don't know if you can see what's inside the garage. It's pretty empty in there, just like storage stuff. I don't even know if you can see in there. Very neat. Nice little relic of times gone by. Okay, I'm in front of the Washington County Jail. This particular jail was built in the late 1800s. Right next to it is the Washington County Courthouse. We're going to walk up a little ways and take a look at that. There's the Washington County Courthouse. And on this same property, there used to be a court and jailhouse before that. Before these two buildings, there was a courthouse and a jailhouse here. And back in the I want to say 1860s, I might be wrong on that, there was a murder in the town of West Bend. A young farmhand by the name of Paul Winderling. He was, I believe, 14 years old. He was murdered, and the perpetrator was caught the next day down in Milwaukee, and his name was George DeBar. And they brought DeBar back up here for trial, and as he was making his way for his first appearance in the courtroom, a mob kind of formed outside, and after his first court appearance, he never made it back to the jailhouse. He was actually taken over by the mob as he was being transferred from the courthouse back to the jailhouse, and was proceeded to be dragged through the streets. He was beaten on the premises here. One of the things that were reportedly dropped on his head was a big stump weighing about 150 pounds, and he was beaten. And then he was reportedly dragged down the streets of West Bend, through downtown, which is right over the hill there, to the side of the Milwaukee River, the east side of the Milwaukee River, on Highway 33, which is now Washington Street, where he was hung. He was actually hung first by either his feet or his head, and then it was switched around after they found that really wasn't doing much for him. He was already almost dead to rights by that time. But can you imagine that, being dragged through these streets? Not paved streets, mind you. These were stone streets. These were gravel streets. Being dragged through the streets by your feet, having your clothes torn off as you went along, and eventually hung. So George DeBar was actually hung, lynched, as you will, for the crime of killing the farmhand. I guess it was all over a payment due, and pretty dark part of West Bend's past. It's actually been preserved in a book called Dark Lynching, and it is available here at the old courthouse in their gift shop. I have a copy of it. Very interesting read, and very sad tale of what had happened in West Bend back in the 1860s. Coming up on the left here is a cemetery. Now this cemetery plays with the last story that I told you about a certain gentleman named George DeBar, who was hung in West Bend. Now this particular cemetery, Barton Cemetery, is reportedly where DeBar's body was taken and buried. However, he is not in a marked grave. He is in a unmarked grave. I guess they planted a tree over it, so I don't even know if that tree still exists. But yeah, that's kind of what happened with George DeBar after he was taken through the streets of West Bend and hung. Once again, we're in Barton, and this road that once went through, and this bridge here no longer does go through, but it's a place where you can walk on. It's a bridge that I don't know how long it's been since it's been in actual service, but it started out as a wooden bridge, you can see that. And then they laid asphalt on top, and then they laid down actual pieces of metal at one point, and then just decided to close it down. Here's the Milwaukee River that flows through Barton and West Bend and drains down in Milwaukee and Lake Michigan. This is kind of a popular spot for kids to do some fishing. Very soothing sound listening to the water, if you can hear it just going by. Almost sounds like one of those sound machines. Sun is starting to set, and it was turned out to be a nice sunny day. And I'm glad it was a nice sunny day because we needed one. It had been a while since we had the sun. I'm going to take a little view from this side of the bridge, the old bridge. I need to find out some info on here, just to find out how long it's been since there's an actual car traffic on this bridge. It's kind of a bummer that they didn't replace the bridge and make it a little easier for people down here in young America behind me to have another road to access. They got to kind of go through some little more rigmarole to get out of their little area. And now we're a little farther south on the Milwaukee River. We're still in Barton, but we're a little south of where we were last time. And this is how we're going to end today, by showing you the Barton Dam and the old Barton Mill right there. Not as soothing as hearing the water up earlier on over the bridge. That was nice and soothing. This is spring. This is snow runoff. This is all sorts of stuff. During the summer, this thing actually dries up to the point where depending on how dry it is, that there's nothing coming off of coming down the dam here. Well, kind of found that a fitting way to end the day. And until the next one, adios.